Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards. Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone.
Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
What's the deal? Welcome into the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep. I'm your host, Braylon Edwards, feeling good, feeling great today. And alongside of me is my guy, my left hand, if Kool-Aid is my right hand. It's Matthew Shepard, man.
What's
How you
going
feeling
on, buddy?
over there, Shep?
How are you?
I'm feeling good,
The only
man.
people who call me Matthew, my late mother and my sisters.
So, you know,
That's it.
I'm dialed into my Bible. You know, Matthew is
I know.
He's a very important person in the Bible.
He is.
He's very important.
Unlike this Matthew, I would just say, I don't want Justin to hear
Look,
this.
you're important in our lives,
I
Shep.
don't want Justin to hear this. If you really want to piss me off, call me Matthew. That
100%.
works.
And you brought it up. There is no sweet potato cam today, but there is our guy, Justin Satawa, representing the Western Michigan Broncos. And
Yes,
with the
sir,
drip,
baby.
always rocking the Red Wings 100. Justin, how you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling great, man. Red Wings got the dub last night. Patty came with number 500, man.
Hundo.
Hell yeah, I know we'll get into that in a little bit, but I'm just happy to be here. I love talking ball with you guys, especially college, so I can't wait to get into the playoff a little bit. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys on this fine Friday afternoon.
gonna be
It
fun,
was a
man.
great game, man. It was a great game. for
Electric.
them. Look, I know Vancouver's not very good. They've lost 4 in a row, minus 31 score differential coming in, but good for Patrick. Look, I don't care if it's an empty net goal. Do you?
No.
How many empty net goals do you think he scored before he reached 499?
A
He
lot.
had none since 2022.
But he had them, right?
Yes, he had a few.
I just
At
don't
least
know.
30.
He had some, right?
Yeah.
So what difference does it make? I think I loved what he said in that locker room afterwards. And to have a guy like this, even in the twilight of his career,
Yeah.
to be able to accomplish that moment in a Red Wing sweater was, in the words of my good friend Kool-Aid, dope.
100, the second 500 milestone in the last 3 years for the city of Detroit. Obviously, you know what happened 3 years ago. It was Miggy's 500th home run, and now Patrick Kane. Hey, we'll get to the Tigers down there. I know this is a double dual graphic, but
I
shout out
called
to
that
the
Miggy
empty
500
netter,
home
man.
run, so I remember it vividly.
Shout out to Britt, too, because she has the empty net. It's just Patrick Kane, the 500, and the goal going in. You brought up Kool-Aid, so let's go over and say what's up. Kool-Aid, what is going on this beautiful Friday, my friend?
Hey, what up, though, man? I'm glad to be here. It feels like Detroit sports is buzzing right now, especially with the Pistons and the Red Wings. So,
Pistons
And-
were off last night.
but you know what? They're
They
back
kicked
tomorrow
someone's
night. I'm
butt.
kind of looking forward
It's
to
residual
it.
effect.
Let's go.
Even when the Red Wings win, Kool-Aid's got to bring up
Hey,
the Pistons.
yeah,
Shout out to
Yeah, that
the
was
Red
cool, man.
Wings.
But
I got to
those
keep wearing the hat.
2 nights ago. What they did to the Bulls. Let me tell you about what I saw 2 nights ago. Now that I've had 48
I'm just
hours
getting
kinda
caught
think,
up.
didn't think
I know.
about it.
I was off
I've
for
already
2
done the
nights.
post-game show.
I got
I know
some-
we talked about it yesterday, and then the day before that.
It was
but,
wifey's birthday, so I took a couple nights off. Now my brain is right back into it, like right where we picked up.
Did you
where we
did you
left off.
watch the Wings? I know Justin did. I know Braylon did. I did.
Not last night. Not last night. We were at an establishment where there actually weren't TVs in the dining area. So that was a little tough.
There
I
is a
want to
thing.
hit on the empty net question.
There is a thing called a DVR.
There is.
I mean, you could always tape it.
But you know,
I cut all the cords, man.
You know, Kool-Aid got the whole hoop squad at the house, man. You know, got homework to do, his pictures. You got to feed. You got to take care of the wife for the B-Day, man. You know what I'm saying? Queen Kool-Aid, if you will. So it's a lot going on at the crib, man.
Queen Kool-Aid.
She's
And
Queen
you got the
Kool-Aid.
Pistons.
Let me ask
Happy
you this:
birthday.
Doesn't leave a
baby.
lot of room.
if Queen Kool-Aid, if the Pistons were playing last night, would Queen Kool-Aid postpone the celebration tonight?
She did. Well, no, I actually took off Wednesday night, so I didn't do the game.
Oh,
No
look,
parts
see?
of the game, but I didn't watch any of it.
Look at that guy, man. Shout out to you. I know you see the hat. If you can tell, it is pink. Real men wear a hint of pink. Now, I'm
I
not
love
going to say
pink.
full pink, but a hint.
I was
of pink,
wondering
if
if
you
that
will.
was pink, or maybe
It's
that you washed
just
it
pink,
and
yeah.
maybe you got it mixed in with a red sweater or something.
It goes with the fives on my feet. And when I say
Fire!
Well,
When
come
I
on.
say
You got to
fire.
show everybody. Come on. You got to show everybody.
Did you say it goes with the fire on your feet?
Let's see it right here.
Here. Hold it up to the one shot. Oh,
You know what
snap.
time it is, man. Just you know what time it is. It's just subtleties in life.
Very
subtleties
nice.
in life. All right, getting back.
Are
to
you going to
Patrick-
wear those at Wicked Pickle?
Hell no. This is because it was
Style shoe only.
almost 60 degrees outside.
Hell
earlier,
no.
And the ground was finally dry. So I said, you know what? I can get away with wearing a J today.
Kool-Aid.
Then it started
Kool-Aid,
raining, huh?
What's better from Braylon? Hell no. Man, Tennessee sucks. Or what he did yesterday when I said, do you think players relax a little bit after signing that big cheddar? And he goes, what?
What? Yeah.
What are the better?
think what
What's the
might have
best
been
of those
it,
three
dog.
reactions?
That might be it.
I can't get Tennessee sucks out of my mind. I
What
can't
y'all
do that.
say?
It's so funny. All right.
Get it back to Patrick K just
Yeah.
for a quick second. He's
Yeah.
the 5th USA-born
Mm-hmm.
player to score 500 goals. Now, here's the trivia question.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can. Justin, can you name the other 4?
Mike Madonna.
Boom!
500. The
560,
amount
yeah.
of goals that Mike Madonna had, 561.
561.
Okay.
Brett
Alright,
Hull.
Who else?
Those are the two gimmies. I don't think I know the other two. I know those two for sure.
Can I give you a hint?
Yeah.
There you go,
One
Shep.
has sons playing in the league right now.
Oh, yeah. Keith Tkachuk.
Okay.
Yep.
Ooh, see? So you can help him out.
Look at
with
these
the other
hockey
2.
minds. This is
I-
awesome
I
to
knew
see.
that one. I saw it on the graphic last night, in all
Okay.
fairness.
All right. Do you need it? Do you need
I need
it?
help on the fourth one. The fourth one is the random.
Initials
what-
JR.
He was also kind of a tough guy.
Jeremy Roenick.
Yeah. Good job.
There we go.
Yep.
And then the last one would be Shep.
Patrick Kane.
What team did this guy play for the last one?
The last one.
Yeah, it's one more.
Oh, there's one.
Well, he played for Minnesota
That's where he did
primarily.
the bulk of his
Yeah.
damage. Okay.
Played for New Jersey as well.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
I don't
first
think, I don't
name
think
Joe.
I got that one in my bag.
Last name
Mm,
Mullen.
Yeah, didn't have that
Joe
one in my
Mullen.
bag.
Yeah.
Joey Mullen.
Yeah,
So-
one was he had 502.
Now there are guys currently playing.
That will get there.
Matthews will get there.
Well, I
If
was
his
going
back
to say
holds up.
I was going to say guys who are ahead of Patrick Kane. So I mean, Steven Stamkos has 600. I don't know if people realize that. He's not American.
Right,
I'm just
right,
saying
right.
Steven Stamkos can light the lamp. Right?
There's that one guy. He's kind of good. He plays for the Capitals.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you
will,
know, just
yeah.
the leading goal scorer of all time.
There's another
really.
one that actually beat the Red Wings in 09. I think he might have more.
yeah. He's
than
not bad.
500 as
649. Yeah.
It's funny, like when the fact that those two are still
Sid the
playing,
Kid.
talking about Sid the Kid and Alex O, if you will. Sid the Kid was my guy because we're around the same we're around the same time. I got drafted 05. They got drafted in 04 or 03 around that time. So those were the guys that I was tracking, and they're still freaking playing. I switched to Ovechkin once the Penguins won in 09. I was done with Sydney after that.
I will give Justin already knows this. I'll give you one of the most stunning statistics in sports history. Okay, if Wayne Gretzky never scored a goal in his life,
He would still be.
he would still be the all-time leader in hockey history in points. If he never scored a goal in his life.
It's the craziest sports stat, in my opinion, that there is.
Yeah.
got a
Yeah, I
stat
agree
for
with
you
that.
Since we're throwing out stats right now,
Fire. Go. I like this
There are
game.
enough players currently in the transfer portal to fill up every single roster in every single Power 5 conference. There are
Power 4 conference?
Power 4, excuse me.
That's a
there
power
are
stat.
that, and there's 18 alone in the Big Ten. There are that many kids in the transfer portal.
There's about 4,000, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I
Fill
thought.
every single roster.
Right.
And to go back to your original question, Shep, did you think that it was going to be an empty netter? Honestly, and I'll be completely honest, and Spenny was ripping me on the post-game show yesterday.
Shout out to Spimo.
Shout out to
Shout out
Wings
to
and
Spenmo
Spinning.
Rax, my boy. I thought he wasn't going to go on the ice for the empty netter. I thought that he was going to want to score it in Showtime fashion. I do now see the validity of him doing it with an empty net. You know, the ovation. It was like really a coronation for his moment. Like it was very
loud.
beautiful. It was awesome.
They showed
I'm so glad for him. I'll be honest. I told my dad I don't think he's going to be sent out with the empty net. And whether that's just me, nitpicking, it was what Spenny said. Also, shout out to Lucas Raymond. 300th point of his career.
Yep.
Don't want to get that steamed over.
Goal and
he
assist,
is
yep.
the second leading scorer in his draft class behind Tim Strutzel, who's a very good hockey player.
Good for him. I have no problem with the empty net. I have no problem them putting him on the ice. At his age and with his injury history, you never know.
That's
So
fair.
I
like that angle, Shep.
I have no problem with it whatsoever. He's going to get more, which is great. I thought it was an unselfish move, and I thought it was fantastic. I thought he wasn't the best, but one of the best players on the ice last night was James Van Riemsdyk, who is
the
the
last 7
steal.
games.
He is the steal of free agency.
Absolutely.
$1 million, a 36-year-old. I know he's not going to score you a ton of goals. He's got 11 goals on the year. 2 phenomenal passes last night, and you can just tell how he settles everybody down. When you talk about veterans and younger players and who those younger players can go to, because they don't want to always hear coaches, it's Charlie Brown's teacher, right?
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah. Thank you. Good sound effects.
Somebody else sounded like Charlie Brown at that podium yesterday, but we'll get into that.
Yeah,
we
we will get into that right now. But
Yeah.
I thought, I just love watching that dude play.
Me too, man.
I really
he does everything right day in and day out. And I said yesterday, him and Andrew Kopp are the most important secondary players on this team by a large margin. You saw the way they fell off when Kopp got hurt last year, and now this year you have 2 very, very solid vets who are embarking their wisdom on the younger generation. You could tell that a lot of those younger players are taking that feedback. When Soderblom was playing well, you could tell that JVR was influencing that, the way he was getting to the net and playing on the wall. I really love the mix of veteran and young talent that the Red Wings have. I hope that they add some more, at least one more veteran at the deadline to really shore up this roster and get them ready to not just be in the playoffs, but to compete to win a playoff series.
Speaking of good passes last night, there were a lot of good passes in the semifinal game between Ole Miss and the University of Miami. Where do we gonna go? Do we want to go Ole Miss Miami, or do we want to go to the podium that was Brad Holmes?
We can go Ole Miss Miami. I'm good with that. Can I just say a shout out to Brittany, who is one of the more talented, young, attractive women we've known. For her to put this together for us, it just spices things up. Often like she does when she walks into a room. It's awesome. So thank you very much for Brittany for being so talented at what you do. Yeah, look.
Number 1 cheerleader over there. She's number 1. She's number 1.
She's really good. She's really good. I don't know why my hands are black, but I don't care. The thing I would say is Miami looks like a force, not just last night, but they look like a force throughout, right? But damn, 41 minutes, over 41 minutes with possession. Usually I don't get caught up in that statistic. I want to know what you do with the football rather than how much you possess the football.
Yeah.
But when you're scoring like they are, and they've got a deep, talented roster, good for them. They've come all the way back, man.
And that's an interesting question, or interesting thought, them being back. Miami last night dominated that game. That game was not even close. Now the score will tell you that that Ole Miss lost by 4 or 5, but it wasn't close. It wasn't close in the sense of Miami dominated that game. Miami dominated that game, offense and defense. The point of attack, they were dominant all night long. Miami dropped not 1 interception, not 2 interceptions, not 3 interceptions. Miami dropped 4 interceptions last night, as well as threw a pick on the 10-yard line, and they still were able to dominate their game and win that game. I saw an interesting stat about Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss yesterday. On first down, Ole Miss had 210 yards passing. On second down, Ole Miss had 180 yards passing. Third down,
They didn't have any yards.
0
on third down?
yards on third down. That is the story. Ole
What,
Miss,
in the
like you
Detroit
talked about,
Lions?
They were not able to sustain any drives, and they couldn't get any momentum until the end of the game.
I that's where I wanted Kool-Aid to come in and hit it. Was that's a power stat.
That's a power stat.
That's a power stat right
Yeah.
there. I thought what they were able to do by keeping Ole Miss's offense off the field and wearing down their defense. It sounds obvious when you have the ball for over 41 minutes. But when you have 13 play drives.
Yeah.
4 of them.
4, right. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of them. And the only team to do that in the college football playoff, although it's not super old, that is super impressive. And I assume that was Mario Cristobal's game plan, part of it.
Yeah.
That defense is going to be really tough to score on, no matter who's coming out tonight, either Oregon or Indiana.
Yeah, no, it definitely is going to be tough to score on. It's been that way for the past 4 or 5 games or so for them. But shout out to Mario Cristobal, man. Finally, he's able to get to the national championship. This is what's been talked about. He hasn't been able to close the door. He hasn't been able to get there, whether it was at Oregon or now. He's finally got there. He's finally cleared the doors.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see his assistant come up to him after they scored the go-ahead touchdown? His assistant came up to him. It's 18 seconds left in the game, and his assistant gives him the big hug. And he said, what do you get the? And he goes off on him. Everybody is watching the game. I'm at my dad's house watching it, and we're laughing about it in the whole 9 yards. And people in the comments I can read online.
Yeah.
Like, why is he so angry? And what is going on? And he's doing the most. Well, in 3 plays, Ole Miss got 40 yards. They got to the 34 and threw a pass that we'll talk about now. Could have been called for pass interference, but Trinidad Chambliss put that ball in an amazing spot. Almost could have been caught. That's why Cristobal was so angry. Was that a pass interference, Shep? Yes or no?
So first things first, you talked about the drive that led to the go-ahead and game-winning touchdown. Carson Beck just scrambling 3 yards.
Was a dot.
Yeah. 15 plays, 75 yards is what Miami had to go to take the lead, and they did it. Kudos to them.
Carson Beck.
Yeah, Carson Beck. I mean, he's 55.
White boy winner, baby.
He's 55, but still.
But this is the game we
This
play.
is the game we play. I saw a statistic the other day that said this: the average age of Indiana, their
23.
football team, is 23.
23.
The average age of the Green Bay Packers is 25.
25.
Okay, that's the game you play. And Kirk Herbstreit went on this big long rant last night on the post game. Not that it's wrong, but he said, "Look, if you're trying to build a program, you're trying to build a team, you've got to get guys to buy in. And if you're going portal and you're just interchanging stuff, that's going to be a really tough thing to do." Same thing with 5 stars. You know, you and I have had that debate.
Yeah.
And I concede a lot of that information to you. There's not many 5 stars on Miami. There's not many 5 stars on Indiana either. The 5 stars were with Georgia. The 5 stars were with Alabama. The 5 stars were with Ohio State.
But you know what happens, and you're absolutely correct. What happens with it, I'll give you an experiment through my eyes.
Yeah.
There were 5 stars that came to Michigan that didn't play and ended up not being anything in their careers. Some of them my friends, and they will admit to that. That's not me. I was a 3-star. How did that work out? So what I'm saying
Pretty
is
damn well.
Malachi Tony was a 3-star.
And first of all, he's the best player on the field.
Easily.
He hit
That
the best
dude.
athlete. That catch.
Oh, my God.
I wanted them to call that a
Okay.
catch
Hold on.
just for the moment.
I'm
Just for the moment.
I'm gonna put what I was gonna say on hold just to talk about this catch. Just remind me
All right.
talking about the 5-star, the conversation that was.
I'm
What
writing
was
it
I
down
actually
right
gonna
now.
say 5-star.
5-star.
Okay, we're good. I was so mad at the referee. I was so mad at the referee. This is why I was mad at the referee.
Fire up, bro.
I know it wasn't a catch. I understand what happened. He got the toe down, and then the heel came down at the same time, so it's out of bounds.
Yeah.
They go to the replay booth. He's staring at it. We're watching the catch. We're looking at Malachi Tony, commercial breaks, this, that, and the third. He comes back. All the ref says is, after the review, the pass is incomplete. And then walks off, and it's the next play. First of all, that catch is one of the best catches I've seen in a very long time. Like, for him to be able to haul that in, get that foot almost
And
down,
contort.
if you will, in the moment, the one hand, like, to contort your body like that, to catch. And he never put another hand
And he's
on
a
it.
smaller guy.
And he just turned 18. The ref could have came back and said, hey, after reviewing the play, it was a hell of a catch.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Say something like it was a hell
That's
of a
what
catch.
I said last
The
night.
receiver definitely maintained the possession. He came down, he got a foot in. However, the heel touched as well, so it's an incomplete pass. But young fella, that was a damn good catch. Say something along those lines.
You know,
I
that's
said the
He
same
just
thing
came
last
back and
night.
said incomplete
I
pass.
said, if I were the referee, not that it's a me moment, but if I'm the referee, I'm clipping that microphone. I'm saying, after further review, that was one of the best catches I've ever seen as a referee. Young man, come here. Unbelievable job. You just got the heel down out of bounds. You need to toe drag it, and it would have been fine. Unfortunately, it is an incomplete pass, third down.
Yeah, this
Ole
would have
Miss.
been the time to have those referees from the Lions game who was like, hey, yeah, it was definitely a touchdown, but
we need
this
one
would
of
have been
those
that
guys.
time.
Yeah.
They
Well,
said
and if
that-
I'm
That catch
getting
was
greedy here, I
amazing.
guess I should have. The Green Bay game, after further review, I'm an idiot. I gave them the timeout. Really, it should be illegal motion. Green Bay, replay second down.
They said he plucked that from 10 feet in the air.
He did.
That is
That's
off
insane.
a basketball rim.
he did.
And he is 5'10".
He did.
And he contorted, caught it with one hand, and
That's a
almost
literal
got a foot
garage-sized
down.
window.
That was unbelievable. That is
Amazing
the
play.
best catch I have ever seen.
So
it's
here-
not.
here-
Even those windows, huh?
So here's the
No,
problem.
No, it's not. I cannot
Go.
stand the hyperbolic in the moment.
I'm not.
play.
I'm not even being hyperbole because the only
There's
catches
still
that
the best catch of all time will always be Odell Beckham until I see something different.
Yeah.
Odell didn't have to contort his body.
Yes, he
Odell
did.
had to
Foot
catch
down.
it with 2 fingers
Yeah, and he did have
and
to
get his
contort
foot in
body.
bounds after
Yeah.
pass interference
He-
and catch the touchdown
and
and
he
he, took his hand all the way back. You know what type of range of motion
Yeah.
you have to have?
That's-
That's 2 fingers.
That is contorting your body.
2 fingers.
But here's the difference. Can I just say the
yeah,
difference?
please.
Odell's is a catch. His is
Well, yeah.
not.
Now it's not. Now it doesn't even matter.
I know.
And that's why I wanted
that
them to
is
call
the
it a catch.
unfortunate
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, that's why we wanted to call it a catch, because then we could say it's one of the greatest catches we've ever seen. Instead,
got you.
when you and I talk about this, when your kids get a little bit older, your kids go back and look and they, wait a minute, Dad, that didn't count. That's not a catch.
I don't think that Malachi Tony. See now I got to put the catch down that fast. It was an amazing catch, and now we're comparing them. I don't think that catch is better than the Isaac Tesla catch against Green Bay. Realistically,
I do.
what's in this? Okay, but see, you had to think about it. I don't have to think about the Odell Beckham catch. It's not.
That's
better.
fair.
What about the Puka Nakua catch that you loved earlier this year down the
That's-
sideline?
That's better than
Yeah.
Malachi Tony last night.
That wasn't a catch either, though.
It was.
Yes.
No, not the last game against.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the last game.
No.
It was Carolina on the left sideline, or was it?
I didn't think it was Carolina. I thought it was a home game against San Francisco. Either
okay.
way, it
Would it
did
have been
count
top
'cause-
three, Braylon?
It did count because
Yes.
we
Okay,
played.
that's all I need.
We played the top 3 catches of the weekend and got a breakdown, a Braylon
Like
breakdown.
Sam Laporta was in that.
I
weekend?
don't know. I don't think it was. No, Sam Laporta was hurt at the time. Who's the?
Oh, it was
who's
the
the
guy
kid
for
from-
the Commanders.
Yes.
It was the guy from the Commanders in
Yeah.
the right corner end zone.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
So that was a catch,
Yeah.
and that's the hard thing. Look, I love the discussion because we all get wrapped in a moment.
Yeah.
And that's the best throw I've ever seen. It's the best catch I've ever seen. It's the best dunk I've ever seen. Cohen Carr, another unbelievable dunk last
Cohen
night.
Carr is
Some people
unreal.
probably left the Breslin going, that's the best dunk I've ever seen in a game, right? Not
nice.
in. It was nice, but it's not the best dunk.
Shannon
you've
Brown
ever seen.
has a couple. If you want to go back to Michigan State.
AJ DeBance
Shannon
has
Brown
a
has
couple
a
better
couple. Go back to
dunks
Michigan
this
State.
That's
year.
a really good one.
I
yeah.
remember-
Didn't they have a guy
conversation.
named Jason Richardson up there?
First of all, Jason Richardson is the most underrated. Him and Gerald Green are the
Yeah.
2 most underrated dunkers in NBA history.
Yes, Gerald Green.
Paplowski. No,
Did you
just
say
kidding.
Gerald Green?
Just kidding.
Gerald Green.
Dog, he is so
100%.
underrated.
9-finger Gerald Green.
Yeah.
9-finger Gerald Green. You know what I'm saying? 1,000. I guess he'll be 7 because thumbs don't count. The 5-star. Hey, you see I slipped that in there real quick.
Yeah, I say this all the time. Very underrated. Underrated. Like, could do a comedy skit every once in a while. All right, let me get back to the 5-star thing. Go ahead.
5-star.
Because you were 3-star.
5 stars come out of high school, and that's their rating based on what they did to high school level competition. So that ranking is based on what you did in high school. When you get to the college, it's a different thing. Those 23 and 24-year-old guys are in their prime.
All right.
So they're much. I'm not gonna say much, but on a wholesale, they're better. They're bigger. They're stronger. They're faster. They're in their prime. 24 years old, you're in your prime.
Sure.
As an athlete, as a pro athlete. So,
But
the
you know,
5-star doesn't
my
get
debate
10.
on this.
Yeah.
My debate has been that a lot of players come out of high school, they are rated a certain star because
Who
of
did you play against?
well, not just that, but who represents you.
Yeah.
If
Who
you're a
gave you that
Nike
ranking?
guy, they're going to go wink, wink. Let's bump that stars up maybe 1 or a half of 1 or whatever the case may be. Look, Trinidad Chambliss, we all mature at different times, okay? I'm
Man,
still not mature. But Trinidad
Shout out to
Chambliss,
him. He played.
he's a 0-star.
Yeah.
The Heisman Trophy winner was a 2-star.
68th in this last transfer portal class
Jeez.
of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I
Of
just-
quarterbacks.
quarterbacks.
Not of players.
Not of players.
Of quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I put it to you this way.
Alex Orji, I believe, was ranked higher than Trinidad Chambliss.
Oh,
But that's what it goes back to in terms of
You got
the
a shut
age
face
thing,
palm.
18 versus 24.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
just to put it in perspective for where I was, at 24, I had 16 touchdowns in the NFL. Like, against the best level competition. I played in the AFC North against Ed Reed, against Troy Polamalu. I had 16 touchdowns at 24. I would have gone at 24 playing against an 18-year-old.
You'd have rewritten history books.
Well, again.
Yeah.
Like, so that's what you're looking at when you're looking at the 23, 24-year-old. It's about prime. You're already a damn good athlete because you had to get to the collegiate level. You had to get a scholarship. But to be able to have 6 years to figure out your body and who you are and to learn and get better and more tutelage and the more you see, you become a much better version of yourself.
In the words of Kool-Aid. Talk about it. John Henry Daly is a little bit more mature. That's a big get for Michigan. He's a guy who will go from Utah to Michigan, bring with him 11.5 sacks, 17.5 tackles for losses, and the one stat that Braylon hates, 47 pressures from last year. And Michigan State got a kid named Carson Gulker from Ferris State who just won 3 national championships, and that's a good little trivia question, before Trinidad Chambliss, who was the quarterback at Ferris State that won a national championship. It's Carson Gulker, who's a tight end. He got hurt. Chambliss comes in, leads him to a national championship. Gulker returns from injury. He doesn't whine. He doesn't pout. What does he do?
Transfer.
No. He became a tight end.
Oh, this guy,
Yeah, and now he had 1 year left of eligibility, and he's going to go play at MSU. So I love that both schools in the state are able to get some quality transfer. I'm talking about these two guys. I know they got more, and that's a big plus.
We're having fun right now. One more question about the Miami game, and then we get a commercial break and get to whatever you bring.
I also want to just get your opinion on some of these names that were in front of Trinidad Chambliss.
You cut me off one more time, I'm coming in that booth. And it's gonna be me and you. I'm just messing with you, Jay.
Go.
All right, Preston Stone, Malachi Nelson, Daquan Finn. Nico
Finn.
Nico.
You know what Daquan Finn did?
No.
He quit.
Yeah.
In the middle of the season, and said, "I need to get ready for the NFL draft." I mean, that is
playing in a MAC school.
He pulled a.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he pulled a Vontae Davis.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
I just thought about that.
Anybody else, real quick?
Stephen Jelly from Syracuse.
Unbelievable.
Aaron Nolan, the guy who never played a snap in college football.
Let me ask you this: when you watch Trinidad Chambliss, do you not think he's got NFL traits?
He does.
First of all, he 1,000% he does. I was talking to my brother Bailey. What's up, B?
Hey, B.
I was talking to him last night when we were watching the game, and before the last 4 games of the season, I didn't view Trinidad Chambliss like that. I viewed him as a decent college quarterback, has some upsides, dual threat. Like he, maybe probably come back next year. He'll project himself higher. He'll get drafted by somebody. But I was like, hey, he's just another one of these guys. He's a college guy, man.
Sure.
The last 4 games watching him, he made some throws. He made some plays. He showed some moxie and some resolve. I think there's something to Trinidad Chambliss. Now, would I put a number 1 or 2 picker? I'm not saying that.
No, I'm just asking if he's got traits. Yeah.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Does the size concern you?
What I like about him, as much as anything else, are his hips. I think when he delivers the football, and I never used to notice this until Drew Stanton told me what impresses him most about Matthew Stafford is the hips. And Trinidad Chambliss, I think, has got really good hip movement on his throws, even when he rolls
out.
It is not all arm. Like he steps into his throw. I don't know about
Wilson's similar.
Who is Russell?
When he was younger, not now.
Do you think that's because of his baseball background?
1,000%.
Agreed. I do too. So that's what I really liked about Trinidad Chambliss. Am I biased? You're damn right I'm biased. He's from Grand Rapids, so I want Michiganders to do well. I love the way he holds himself. I love the way he carries himself. I love all that about him. So I am rooting for him. I'm not saying he should come out, although this is a very weak
He has to now.
quarterback
His waiver
class.
just got denied for the
did
third
it?
time.
Dante put that in the chat too.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you
Thank
know what?
Dante.
He got denied at the right time because he definitely set himself in motion to be the for sure number 3. And depending on how it looks for Dante Moore and go back and forth, you talked about Miami being back.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last question I wanted to ask before we went to break. Is Miami back, and what does that mean? Or do you want to think about that?
No, I don't have to think about it. I think it's a really good question. I hesitate to say that they're back, but I would say this. They've reached the national championship game, and they're going to make $20 million. The ACC does not spread that wealth. The team that gets there gets the coin.
Yeah.
They're also making an extra $3 million for travel expenses, even though they're playing in their backyard.
You know why that is? That's because Duke and UNC in basketball, they already set that precedent years ago.
Did they? Okay.
100%. Like every time Coach K gets there, it's like, I ain't giving North Carolina a blip.
Yeah. Oh,
So that's what. So that's.
you're saying why they won't share? No conference revenue.
That's kind of
Gotcha.
already been.
Well,
something like that.
it makes sense, and I understand it. So they're going to get $23 million to spend on the portal, on NIL, whatever they want. How Miami relegates that is up to them,
Yeah.
okay? I don't know how they want to do that. If they want to put it in some of their other sports, so be it. If I'm Mario Cristobal, I went out there, my kids sacrificed. I want this for my football program to sustain success. My guess is they are now a team and program to be reckoned with. For how long, I don't know, all right? Because I would have thought that about some other programs that seem to go on the downside a little bit. Clemson, for example, although they haven't hit the portal the way many people think they should have.
And that was
Right.
the thing.
Dabo Sweeney.
Dabo and Jim were on the same side in the beginning, and
Mm-hmm.
Dabo was like, "Nah, I'm not here for this transfer portal. I don't want athletes to get paid." And he stayed on that. Jim switched.
Yeah.
He stayed on that hill, and now look at Clemson.
So, and here's the other thing. I would have thought for the amount of money that Texas Tech gets, they would be back. Will that be sustainable? I don't know, quite honestly. And I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm not afraid to say, I don't know if they're back. I can tell you this. They're one of the most impressive teams this year. They're going to make a lot of money, and that money will be able to be used on a lot of different players, whether it be in the transfer portal or coming out of high school, and they're going to attract a lot of talent. So I think the right bet would be, yes, they are back. Kudos to Nick Saban. Nick Saban, before the playoffs began, before the College Football Playoff Committee even ranked these teams, he said what? If Miami gets in, they're going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
And he's right. They are dangerous. Where are the people who were crying and complaining about Notre Dame instead of Miami now?
Oh, they've been quiet for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
I think we have, for myself, this is a reminder for myself, I have to quit going back to what things used to be. So when I ask that question, I'm like, no, Miami's not back. And you know why Miami's not back in my mind before I think about it? Miami was never just about winning the national championship. Like, it wasn't, Miami won the national championship in '88 with, Jimmy Johnson and Michael Irvin. Miami won the national championship with Butch Davis in 2001. Miami had a great stretch of players in between that when they were on probation. Bubba Franks, Edgerrin James, Ray Lewis, Santana Moss. But the thing that made Miami the thing that made Miami great is what those players did in the NFL. That's what Miami, and that's why when people talk about USC 04 and talk about LSU 2019, congratulations, great teams, amazing teams. But when you talk about Miami, University of Canes, man, you're talking about 4 Hall of Famers off that team. Just let that sink in. 4 Hall of Famers off that particular team. Pro Bowls, they account for, I don't even want to tell you how many Pro Bowls they account for. Not to mention Frank Gore eventually getting the Hall of Fame. That's 5. They had perennial Pro Bowlers, perennial All-Pro players. They were running down on special teams.
Right.
They couldn't even get on the field. So when you talk about the U, you don't just think about Larry Coker, Butch Davis. You think about what those players did in the NFL, so they won't be back. But you got to change your thinking because this is a new day. I think Miami is here to stay.
Yeah, I think Miami, I've always viewed Miami as, sure, some unbelievable players. Bryant McKinney was a great tackle,
That's my
all
dude.
right?
Yeah, he could party with the best of them.
Russell Maryland,
Dan
of
Morgan,
course.
Chris
You know,
Myers,
Bernie
Willis
Kosar.
McGahee,
We
Dan
could go
Terrell.
all the way back to Ted Hendricks.
Right.
Ted Hendricks was a
Ted Hendricks
badass
monster.
for the Oakland Raiders, all right? Sean Taylor, as you've mentioned before. Willis
Rest in
McGahee. We
peace.
could go on. I've always viewed them, though, as guys who, I mean, it's about them as pros more so than it was them as collegiate players, and they are loud about their school.
Yeah.
And
the school lets them be loud. Unlike some.
Yeah. I mean, Vinny Testaverde and Ken Dorsey aren't doing that.
No.
And that's fine. I don't know if Cam Ward does that.
Well, Ken's loud only when he's messing up play calls in the booth. Remember that Buffalo game where he lost his mind? He tore the booth up. I had him I'll tell you a story off air.
You know who's a really good player at Miami who gets overlooked is Dan Morgan. Who was a middle linebacker. He was a middle linebacker. I'm not saying he's Michael Irvin. I'm not saying he's Warren Sapp. Okay, I'm not saying he's Benny Blades. Loved Benny Blades or Ed Reed.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. You could put Miami, if you took the U and put the best player at different positions, and you had Ed Reed and you had Benny Blades and you had Sean Taylor as part of your secondary, right? And then you had some of their wide receivers.
Phil Buchanan, Antro Rowe, DBs.
It's as good, maybe if not better, than just about any school out there.
Like Michael Irvin, Santana Moss, and Andre Johnson would be your triple, your 3 wide.
Michael Irvin, Santana Moss.
Reggie Wayne was on there.
My generation don't know how good Santana Moss was.
Santana was better than Reggie head up to me.
Okay.
I think Reggie was the beneficiary. Let me start here. Reggie was a damn good player. Reggie's the beneficiary playing opposite Santana Moss and opposite of Marvin Harrison. Much like they benefited too, but they were the premier receivers on those teams.
Okay.
1,000%. Let's get a quick commercial break because we'll be talking about Miami and the yesteryear for a long time. I want to dive into
Kellen Winslow, the tight end, maybe? Sorry to interrupt.
My teammate.
Yeah.
Like 100%. I'll tell you another funny story about King too when we get up there. Let's get a message in from Ben Johnson. When we get back, we can talk about who spoke at the podium, and are you comfortable with what was said? How do you feel going into the 2026 offseason for the Detroit Lions? Corporations, the government, and even your insurance company will do whatever it takes to minimize their liability and withhold your compensation. So when something goes wrong, make Ben Johnson your first call, and I huge emphasize on the first part. Get the fighter in your corner. Ben is the fighter and has been fighting for a very long time. He and his team, they want all the smoke. Settlement, verdict, it does not matter. Contact Ben today at venfights.com. venfights.com.
No better place to catch all the action, whether it's basketball, hockey, football, soon to be baseball, within 40-plus days of spring training, than Art and Jake Sports Bar and Grill. Tonight, you get a chance to see the second semifinal. It's Oregon against Indiana. If you're not watching it at home, you should be watching it Art and Jake's. Why? 22 draft beers, 80 TVs that you can sit back and enjoy and catch from every single angle, plus what I think is some of the best food you will ever have at any sports bar and grill. It's Art and Jake's, 6 locations throughout the great state of Michigan.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shepard Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com. Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Like a frostbite straight from the divine. Cold rush on my skin feels so fine. Muscle freeze, he's a ache. No side effects, no mistake. Chill Sub-Zero, icy and true. Feel the chill. It's all for you. It's not magic, just science play. Chill Sub-Zero.
Any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. With over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, it's the gym for you because it's the gym for everybody. Because there's no judgment here, man. The locker rooms are squeaky clean, as well as trainers on staff. We're all strong on this planet, and that planet is Planet Fitness. You come in, get taken care of, and also there are trainers. Like I said, Planet Fitness, remember, your fitness is essential, so come get it done at Planet Fitness.
Are you a back and bi guy? Do you back and biceps on the same day?
I love back and bi.
Back and bi. Well, my shoulders are killing me today. Anyway, nothing that a Sun Cruiser vodka iced tea wouldn't solve. Real vodka, real iced tea, no bubbles. It's a clean, crisp sip. Isn't that what you're looking for? Like, I'm drinking some water right here tonight. Go out. We're going to go play pickleball at Wicked Pickle. Braylon is going to mop the floor with everybody. I'm going to tag along and say I was on the winning team, even though I hit a number of them out of bounds. And then I'm going to grab a Sun Cruiser vodka iced tea and say, you know what? Only 100 calories. Let's play again. Sun Cruiser vodka iced tea. Really clean, cruising taste. Enjoy some today, but enjoy it responsibly.
I'm not playing serious unless we play against the heavyweights.
I think they'll be ready for me.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. Hey, again, Brittany made this up. How did she know I was wearing a gray sweatshirt today? And I wish I looked that good, because I think that's a pretty good look. You look like you're bored, upset, and borderline frustrated. Is that a fair depiction right now with Brad Holmes?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Bored and disappointed.
Bored and disappointed.
Just
Let's
bored
play
and
some of this sound. In case you missed it, I'm sure you've read about it. I'm sure you've heard a little bit. Sometimes it's better to get a feel and an atmosphere when you actually listen to it and see it in your own right. This is Brad Holmes from his press conference yesterday. Personally, I don't think you win people over with quotes like this. Let's hear it.
And I don't think I could be wrong, but I don't think that we've ever kind of gone into an off season with a question mark or a hole, and we didn't attack that position with urgency. But sometimes it just doesn't work out as well as we want to.
So first things first, I think it's awesome that we are able to transcribe it and it's blue and white. So I think that's really cool. What was your takeaway from that comment? I thought it was the most damning comment he made.
Yeah, because it's one of those situations where you're not really talking about anything, and you're talking about some things that you may have done, you may not have done. We don't know. You're not like giving us exactly what it was, exactly what was said, exactly what the conversation was, or what the money output was, or who you went after, and what they said they wouldn't or would not do. Like, it's just like, well, we went after some people, and we tried to do some things, and it didn't work out, so we had to stay with what we had. And that's pretty much what it sounds like. The stay with what we had part is what I added to it. Look at these things. Shep, you've been to way more of these than I have. You understand the space. You're not going to get anything like you want when you go to these. And you talked about it yesterday. But you want to get a sense that when you're looking at disappointment, let's just look at the word disappointment. Mm-hmm. Disappointment isn't a bad thing. You know who you're disappointed in? You're disappointed in people that you feel can do more, that you feel are better than what they showed you on that. Like, trust me, you know how many times my teachers pulled me to the side back in the day when I was goofing off and messing around and I didn't study or I didn't necessarily prepare for my test and I ended up getting a C or a D-, and then they tell me, like, hey, look, Braylon, I'm disappointed in you. This is not what you are. This is not what you've shown. Like, you're not putting forth the effort that it takes to be the student that you are. I'm disappointed because I know there's more. I'm disappointed because you've shown me at times that you can be good. So you need to go home, and then I go home. I get in trouble. I get grounded. I'm sitting in my four corners, and I'm like, man, I could have easily done this. I study, get the information. I go take the next test. It's an A. Bring the grade up, etc. They're disappointed because they knew I had that talent in me. Right. We're disappointed with Brad Holmes and what the season was because we've seen the moves he's made. We've seen how good he can be as a GM. We've seen him take this team from what they were, along with everybody else, to where they are now. So the disappointment isn't you're mad. Like, I'm not mad at Brad Holmes. No. I'm disappointed because I know he has the ability to be a lot better than he was last year in the offseason, last year during the season. I think he can be better. When you see this, it's like, I don't know if it's podium speak, or I don't know if it's, I don't necessarily know what's going on. I don't know how I'm going to fix the situation. It leaves you wondering. When the press conference is over, Shep, that's all we asked yesterday. Like, what does success look like from this press conference? Mm-hmm. In my mind, walking away from a presser, okay, there's a plan, there's some onus, there's some, you know what? I can rock with it. There wasn't a plan. There wasn't any onus. It was a lot of double speak, and it was more of the same that we've gotten. So that's how I left, and that's maybe why I look like this.
Yeah, he did say that they have to do some adjustments. So I do appreciate that. Like I said, I think that was the most damning soundbite from the press conference.
He tried to blame injuries. Like, he did blame injuries for a brief moment and then came back. That was another one. I was like, oh, come on now, Brad.
Yeah. He did take ownership, said, look, wasn't good enough, all right, which is obvious, but still, he said it. I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I think there are things that, you know me, I think they got to adjust. I think there's things that they have to do. I was encouraged by what he said regarding the offensive coordinator. I was encouraged by what he said about the offensive line. Those are all good things. Let me get to another soundbite because I greatly respect, where you're coming from. Speaking of the new offensive coordinator, this is what he's looking for in a new OC.
I mean, it's a lot, but I mean, there has to be leadership. There has to be detail oriented. It's got to be command of the room. You just have to be able to know that there's somebody that's going to be able to dot every I, cross every T, and make sure that nothing is compromised from a detail standpoint, from a standard standpoint, from the start of the game planning period all the way till the end of the week. And so we're just looking for that type of person, whether the person has previous experience calling plays or not. I've been around previous coaches that have not done it and did it, and had a lot of success with it. So I do think a lot of it is just you just got to just get in front of them, hear them out, spend some time with them, and kind of hear their ideas, hear their philosophy, do a lot of vetting, as much vetting as you can, and just make the decision. But I think when you go through the process of getting in front of them, when you know.
look outside the organization though
Yeah,
this time?
absolutely. We're looking at everything.
My apologies. I jumped on that. So looking outside the organization, that's a positive for me. You and I talked about that yesterday. There are some times
He's out of it, Shep.
I know. I'm going to bring him back here in a minute. There are some times you have to understand what you're saying. We get that is almost a script. But to say I'm looking for somebody with leadership, detail, command, who's going to dot every I, cross every T, there's going to be no compromise.
And then follow it up.
Yeah, and that is a no shit Sherlock moment. Am I wrong? That is obvious. That is just taking up space.
This is why I look like this. I don't have a problem. Oh shoot! I did the same thing. I didn't even do it on purpose, trying to emulate this. The reason why I'm like this is when he starts this conversation, he says all those things. Shep, I don't have a problem with those things.
Okay.
Like I don't have a problem with the cliche. Like, this is what because you do need an individual that commands the room, lead the room. Like that's what stood out for me. I said, oh, you want somebody that can command the room. That sounds like a presence that hasn't been before. That sounds like a presence like I'm just throwing a name out there because Mike McDaniel. It sounds like nature. It sounds like you're going to get somebody that can come in here with a different energy, and you understand how important that this offensive coordinator position is to the success of 2026. And then when you say all that, and you follow it up with, or if they've even never called plays before, why in the middle of this conversation you're going in a place that's stagnant? But hey, I'm giving you credit, sure, leadership, dot the I's, dot the T's, cross the T's, dot the I's, commands the room, and then you follow up, and even if they never called plays before, no,
right.
That's not what we're looking for in this situation because that lets me know you're looking at David Blau.
Yeah, he doesn't have to say things to appease me. I don't expect that. But don't kid yourself.
Yeah.
Players are at least seeing the clips of this stuff. They recognize the opportunities this franchise has.
Yeah.
And you cannot go into next season with a guy who is not experienced at calling plays. Maybe it's Mike McDaniel. Maybe it's Brian Dable. Maybe it's, who knows?
With some innovation.
Like this isn't
with some innovation.
This isn't 2023. Like if you had that conversation in 2023 and this is what you said and this is what you were looking for, fine.
Yeah.
Because the year before that we didn't make the playoffs.
Exactly.
We had great momentum. We finished strong. We were 8-10 down the stretch. We finished 9-8. We almost made the playoffs. If that's the conversation, then I'm not mad. Not at all. You know what? Cool.
Different situation.
You're going the right way. I understand. You're now saying this after not making the playoffs this year, losing in your first game and only game in the playoffs last year, and then losing 3 years ago or 2 years ago.
Picking the wrong guy.
100%.
Yeah.
Like all this has happened. So you can't come in here and say that and then follow it up with, even if the guy has, because I understand there's a lot of like Brad. What he has to do is get better at press conferences. He's got to get better at press conferences. He has to get better as a GM in the offseason.
I was just going to say, I would rather have him be better, and I think he's a good GM.
No,
you know
he is.
That, right?
I
would rather have
better.
him get better as a GM at trades and free agent signings, even though he's had some good ones, than at a press conference. Here's my advice to Brad Holmes. Sometimes shorter sound bites, shorter answers are better than longer ones.
Yeah.
You end up going down a road, and it's hard to get back to the center of the road. And I think he has a little bit of a problem with that, all right?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Like, I was told that in interviewing. Like, when you interview something, like, you're great at it. Like, I was told, I was given advice, because one of the things about me when I interview, I'll start perfect. I'll like, hey, boom, 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 boom. And after you get to the nuts and bolts, which is quick, and then you can let them take over, and they'll give you your next question. They'll give you the rest of the combo. You then talk yourself out of the great question you're about to ask, and then you go down a road to where you yourself get lost.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to find them. Damn, where was I going? What was I about to ask Shep? And that. Like, that's how it looked to your point. It's like, starts off, and then it's like, let me just keep going a little bit. Let me keep going a little bit more. And then you end up in a ditch.
Yeah, and then you end up in a ditch.
Yeah,
if Brad Holmes just took the latter part, if he said, look, I expect out of an offensive coordinator all the obviouses, okay? But I want an experienced play caller, somebody who's going to match the talent that we have on offense, and we'll find him. That's fine, right? He doesn't have to go through a 55-second audio clip to try and tell us what he's looking for, okay? What are you looking for? That's what, when the media asks that question, it's not, I'm looking for leadership, I'm looking for detail. No.
Yeah.
They're trying to get at a way of saying, are you looking for somebody who's actually called plays, or are you looking for somebody who's young and on the rise, who you might be giving the keys to this offense to? That's really what they're asking without asking that specifically. And you can nip that in bud and say, listen, we're going to keep as many options open as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Ideally, I would like somebody who's had success in this league calling plays and who can match the vision we have of the talent we have on the offensive side of the ball. Next question. Kool-Aid, go right ahead. Oh, you're lost. You should be at the Pistons practice facility. You thought it was the Pistons.
You know what? I don't mind about that, and that is funny. What I don't mind about that is, too,
that is funny.
It does not deter.
How did I get here?
It does not deter first-time play callers. It does not deter, like he said, anyone that hasn't called plays before. It doesn't deter. What it does is it tells me, if you hire someone that hasn't called plays before, after you said that, then that lets me know that this person knocked the interview out of the park. And then I can be comfortable with the pick. I'm like, you know what? He said he wanted somebody that has experience, somebody that knows this league, somebody that has done it before. But then he hired a guy that didn't do it before. That tells me that interview process is everything.
Yeah.
But when you don't say that and then you hire him, then it's like, was that even what you were looking for?
Right. That's why I said ideally. Ideally, I would like an experienced play caller at this level, and someone who's going to match. Now, if you can't get it, you can't get it. But ideally, that's what I'd like to see. Let me get to a couple more after we hear this from Smoothie King and Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning right here on the Braylon Edwards Show.
Whoo! Time to calm down a little bit, man. Maybe I need one of those smoothies so I can get refueled, re-energized.
Right, I mean, they look good.
I'm just telling you, man, like we talk about, man, the new protein, the new real ingredients. The real ingredients is just real fruit. That's what they're trying to bring to you. They're trying to refuel your body. I know me. Like when I put the best ingredients into my body, I am the best version of myself. And that's what I do at Smoothie King. You should do it too. Visit them. They're popping up all around the city, and they're the new thing. And at Smoothie King High School Athlete of the Week, man, we love partnering with them for the impact in the community, which we talk about. These young men and women, they're the future leaders, and they also love Smoothie King as well.
When are they coming in?
We'll get that soon.
Okay, good.
We'll get that soon. We have to get on the same page, man.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And by the way, their acai bowls are out of sight. They're fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning is just that. For 40 years, they've been giving reliable service and treating customers like family. Your neighbors, your family members, the people you work with, the people you trust, they trust Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning if they know what's up. And the reason they do that is because Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning is fast, dependable. They'll take care of you in an emergency as well. Go to their website and see what I mean, SharonsHeating.com, or call them today, 734-238-3805, and tell them the Braylon Edwards Show sent you.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce. You're your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Listen up. This is your last chance to register for the Woodward Sports Wicked Pickle Open starting January 9th. That's today through the 11th, man. So we better see you guys out there. 3 days of non-stop pickleball, men's, women's, mixed, and singles divisions. This is where champions are made. You know what? I know Bray is over there. He's probably in the lead right now. Who are you gonna put your money on right now? Oh, Chef is calling me out. Y'all want to be there to see this. And come out tonight at 7:30 p.m. It's the Woodward Sports Celebrity Tournament hits the court. All your favorite Woodward Sports personalities are throwing down, plus local celebs, and it's all broadcast live. Sign up now at pickleballtournaments.com. Scan that QR code on the screen or call Wicked Pickle at 734-331-3451. And Justin, we might have to have that chair out there tonight.
After all of that pickleball, all these hosts are going to be wishing that they had this beautiful massage chair at their homes because they're going to be feeling sore. But you can visit Massage Chair House in Bluefield Hills, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest, featuring top brands like Infinity or Asaki. This is your destination for premium comfort and cutting-edge wellness technology. Experience the difference with Dr. Eric Duncan, the wellness doc and creator of the #1 YouTube massage chair channel, The Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at massagechairhouse.com or simply scan the QR code on your screen. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
And we are
we're back. Life comes at you fast.
Yes, it sure does.
Life comes at you fast.
Welcome back. Monday through Friday, 2 till 4 here on the Braylon Edwards Show. We're talking about what Brad Holmes had to say yesterday. Love to get your thoughts in the chat. And let's make sure we're up to speed on everything. So, Kool-Aid, do you mind, whether it be a super chat or anything that has stuck out to you for the many
Oh,
of
yeah,
Lions
we
fans
definitely have some
302?
super chats we can get
I
to.
know,
And
it's
yeah,
302,
it's
I know.
the time is just flying by, especially when the conversation is good. You guys have been cooking. The back walls looked awesome.
Yeah.
I'm loving Shep's hands. I love it.
I wish my hair looked that good. I really do.
I mean, that looks like Chef and Bray.
I bet you Brad Holmes looks at that and says, you know what?
AI
I
is
wish I
insane.
looked that good.
You know, it's funny. He's got the hat on, so you know it's kind of like masking the bald head.
I love the reporters.
Gibberish. What?
Gibberish. What?
I thought it said gibberish at first.
Yeah.
and I go back to that comment I made, Shep. We could dive back into it. It's just, you can be disappointed in someone. I think a lot of times you say disappointment and you talk against your general manager, against your player, against your coach. Like people say, oh man, you can't say that, or even your general manager gets mad.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the reason why we're disappointed is because we expect more. And to expect more, it means we know that you're capable of more.
Correct.
Yeah,
right. Not to mention the fact that we have sung his praises, and for good reason. He has earned that. Nobody here is saying he doesn't know what he's doing.
No.
Nobody. What we're saying is that he needs, like everybody, by the way, everybody in life, I've had to do it, you've had to do it, we've all had to do it. You've got to adjust. Some things aren't working in your life. Some things, your decision-making sometimes is not always the best. The best are able to adjust. And I'm completely confident Brad Holmes will do just that.
Yeah.
I can be frustrated at what he said. That doesn't mean I don't believe he can adjust. I think he will. But some things that he said yesterday have left a lot of people wondering a little bit. And I understand that. I understand why they're wondering. So, Kool-Aid, why don't you give us some super chats and anything else you've caught in the chat, and then we'll hear some more and get Braylon's thoughts on it.
Yeah, definitely. We do have a couple super chats we got to get to here, and it's just a couple to encourage the people today.
A hell of a week by you guys, man. We appreciate that.
It has been. QB
Thank you for all you in the chat,
I'm
family.
not
Thank
even
you.
mad. We might have to do some free reads today.
Shout out to QB Michael. Number 3 crown today, $2 super chat. He says, Let's get to work. And he's pretty fired up. And Freddie Felt, our guy Freddie Felt, Freddie Felt 3-on-3 with the $2 super chat. And number 2 crown. So he's been active today. He says, Brad is the word salad champion. Just get it done.
Yeah, I think sometimes less is more. I've said that before. Sometimes less is more. Oftentimes it would leave you more opportunities to answer questions, and maybe they don't want that. I think I do respect and appreciate general managers, coaches, and players when they face the proverbial music and they answer the questions, because not all questions are good ones. Number one.
Yeah.
And number two, it can be really frustrating for athletes. You know what it's like, Braylon. How many people were asking you questions? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And they don't understand what you had to do in order to just put yourself in a position to try even catch the football, for crying out loud. We think, not you obviously, but we in general think things are so damn easy for a lot of these things because TV doesn't do it justice. And it just ain't that way. And the same thing is, if you don't know the back workings of what a general manager has to do to try and make a trade or to try and draft a player or to try and sign a player, then you've got to be very careful. So I always keep that in mind when I am talking about what the front office is doing.
I agree 100%. Like, you don't know what goes on, and you don't know what goes on. What you can't see, you don't understand. 100%. Right. I think the big thing that bothers people about the Brad Holmes situation or the front office or whoever you want to lump into the situation is the things that reared their head at the end of the season, the reason we're not in the playoffs for the last 2 years consecutively, we made it, we knew about them before the season started. Like, these are things that everyone in the city has talked about. These are things that a lot of the analysts have talked about, the reporters, the subliminally the players on the team have talked about. And then you go through seasons, and then they don't necessarily get adjust. You don't necessarily make moves, and then you're in these positions. So I think that's where there's a lot of anxiety, because it's like, man, we knew this. I knew this. He knew this. He said this. But it's not just one thing. It's one. It's two. It's the moving up with Isaac Tesla or things like that and then not playing him. It's the offensive line in the offseason with the Frank Ragnow situation. I also didn't like that they talked about Frank Ragnow for 7 minutes. If you want to talk about it for 30 seconds and say, hey, look, we didn't know that Frank. That was nothing. We didn't know, and I think he told us in May, maybe it was June. You didn't have to say all that. At the end of the day, we didn't know. Just say we didn't know. Once we found out, then we made other plans, and then we had to go from there. But he tried to give a timeline. Like, I think he told us after the draft, or maybe it was May, or maybe it was June. And then the reporters they were throwing some softball lobs out there. I don't think it was a lot of hard questions for Brad Holmes yesterday, outside the obviously ones that had to be asked. Wasn't a lot of hard questions. Don't spend 7 minutes talking about Frank Ragnow.
Amen.
I could care less.
Right.
At this point.
It's done. To give people a window into what they were dealing with, he told us in late May was interesting and revealing. That's all that really needed to be said.
Yeah.
The rest sounded like excuse making. And that's a problem when you come off like that. Like, I remember, I'm sure you guys do too, when Al Avila was relieved of his duties. I believe that was it. And Chris Ilitch was speaking to the media, and somebody asked him about, the general manager, and he said, well, I'm not the one who either drafted or signed those players or something like that. I don't know if you guys remember that soundbite. I was in attendance, and I thought to myself, ooh, that's a rough one for fans to hear, okay? If a general manager is saying, he took us by surprise, I mean, those are the things that people are like, wait a minute, your job, part of your job, is to make sure you've got a really good pulse on your team. Like, you don't want that to happen with Taylor Decker, right? You're sure as hell hoping that you're communicating with Taylor Decker. If you need a tackle, you need a tackle anyway, but still, if you need a starting tackle, that might change if Taylor Decker says, I'm done. And that sounded a little like, well, you know what? We did the best we could with what we had to deal with, and it leaves you to open to all kinds of criticism, even more criticism than they originally took, I think. Let me get to some of these sound bites that we continue with and get Braylon's thoughts on it. Here's Brad Holmes on the season in general. Go ahead, Kool-Aid.
Look, bottom line is, for our standards, this was a disappointment. All right. When we set out for this journey, for this season, it wasn't to to match last year's record or exceed last year's record. It doesn't really matter what the record is. Bottom line is, if we're not in the dance and we're not competing for a championship, it's a failure. So it's a lot of things that we're going to have to take a long, hard look at. But before I look at anything, I'm looking at myself. All right, so I have to do a better job. Obviously, haven't been good enough.
He said the entire press conference. We started with what we considered the worst. I think that's the best what he said.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 100%. He also was asked us in that same conversation. Dan Campbell gave himself an F. They asked him about that. Said, what do you think? He said, well, yeah, I believe it's a fail. I mean, because we're talking about pass and fail, so it was a fail. I mean, it was an easy way to say it. But yeah, he took onus right there a little bit. Said it wasn't good enough, but yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I guess we knew that.
That part.
And we expected it?
Yeah.
So if he says something that we expected anyway, does he get full marks for it? I happen to tend to believe that they do. Doesn't mean that they're not held accountable for some of the other stuff that they've said or left out. But what else do I want?
Yeah.
I can't ask for it, and then when I get it, say that's not what I ordered.
The hard part of a conversation like this too, Shep, is like this is the end of the season. The season is still going on. Like what we want, we can't get what we want until April, until August, until when the season starts in September. Like that's the problem with this conversation. Like whatever he said yesterday, we would have been pissed at because there's nothing at that podium that can change right now.
You're right. He's in a no-win situation. Yeah. How about this one? On the offense, was it ignored? True or false? Here we go.
The offensive line in general as a whole, it hasn't been ignored in terms of like I know we've, drafted in 21 and then 22 we didn't, but 23 we went late, 20, but you'd be surprised about the moves that we tried to do that we could not get done that involved offensive linemen, whether that be draft or free agency. But no, it hadn't been ignored. We tried to do the best we can. I was excited about the youth injection that we did go with. I think it was necessary. But I believe I mentioned after we acquired those players that, there's going to have to be some patience. There's going to be some things that those young guys hadn't seen before. I do think that those young players will get better. But just the offensive line as a whole, whether it's the interiors or the tackle, that's something that's going to continuously, we're going to have to be urgent in terms of adding to.
That's positive that they're urgent with the offensive line. The last part, the beginning, not so much.
100%. My question is this: like, how many other GMs? Because I don't know. I can always go back to the Philadelphia Eagles. We can go to San Francisco, and the question is, how many of them always come to the podium and say, we tried a lot of things and it just didn't work out? Like Brad tends to say,
a good question.
He tends to say that a lot.
Yeah.
We tried some things, it didn't work out. We reached out, we just couldn't find it, or this guy wasn't there, or it wasn't the right fit, or we tried to make some things happen, whether it was draft, whether it was free agency. What are these things that you tried to make happen? I know you're not going to tell me, but are we the only franchise with the only GM that continuously comes up there and say we tried, and it just didn't work out?
Yeah, some of this stuff is very vanilla. Isn't it?
And I wouldn't keep saying that. Like, we tried and it didn't work out. At some point, what works then?
Yeah, it feels like it's a fallback comment for him. I watched a little bit of the New Orleans Saints with Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore. They were together, actually, in their press conference. And it seemed kind of stale there, too. I took a couple of things from that. First and foremost, when yeah, that's right.
They suck.
When he first starts talking about, you don't know how many, in so many words, you don't know how many deals we tried to make. He's right about that. Okay. We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't expect to know everything. But if at the trade deadline, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, he says, look, we understood there was a need for offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Guys, here's how many offensive linemen were traded at the trade deadline. 1. Guys, here's how many offensive linemen have been traded at the trade deadline over the last 10 years. And by the way, it wasn't from a lack of trying. On the other hand, We understand we need to keep future assets. Here's the issue he and the Lions face. When the Lions are willing to trade multiple thirds to move up in that same round to get a wide receiver who only plays 40% of the snaps, that's where people have questions. If you're willing to give up assets for an unproven player other than college, why aren't you willing to give up similar assets for a proven commodity that will help your team, what we would consider right away?
And here's
it's a fair question.
It's a fair question, but Shep, you miss one small detail.
Help me. Go.
Isaac Tesla wasn't proven in college.
Right. Okay.
You moved up. You gave away those picks. You gave away. You moved up. You did that. You made that happen.
Mm-hmm.
You gave away for a player that wasn't proven. He didn't even start his team.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even second.
Right.
He was third. He was a slot receiver. So when you say that, he was a slot receiver. It's interesting.
To go back to what he said, the thing I found interesting in that clip in particular is the fact that he starts off with patience for the young guys, but then kind of reneges that and says we have an urgency to fill the center spot.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways. If you want to replace what you're losing with young guys, like you lost Kevin Zeitler, a elite offensive guard.
Pro Bowl. Yep.
And I know we throw around elite all the time, but he is elite.
He is all pro.
And you saw, like, that was something you could have controlled. You couldn't have controlled the Ragnow situation. You could have controlled the Zeitler situation. Also, you see the offensive linemen coming out of the draft, specifically offensive tackles. There has not been a miss on an offensive tackle in the first round of the draft in 5 years.
A miss by the Lions or a miss by any team?
By anyone. I went back the last 5 years. You have the Joe Alt, the Rashawn Slaters, the Josh Simmons,
Tristan Wirfs.
I mean, the list goes on and on.
First round picks. You're saying.
First round picks.
Okay.
So if you
Evan
have
Neal,
the urgency that you
Thomas,
say,
Andrew Thomas.
Yeah. Evan Neal got benched, but okay.
That was 6 years ago.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And so now you're getting to a point where you have the urgency. There are top-of-the-line centers in the free agents class. There are top-of-the-line offensive tackle and edge are the two deepest positions in this draft. You now have you need to be aggressive. You need to go get your guys. It's not best player available at this point. It is needs. You have specific needs. You can't afford to make another luxury pick.
So I would disagree with that. I strongly disagree with drafting for need. I think you get in trouble that way. However, to your point, the depth helps you, okay, first and foremost. Second of all, if it is as deep as you say it is, and I believe it, then you don't have to move to go get somebody, depending on where they are on your board, of course, right?
Depends on how the draft's going. It's always so unpredictable because, the mock drafts are only so right. We saw 2 years ago that the run on offensive players that happened, we'd never seen that before, where they were running on 16, 17, 18 before there's even a defensive player selected.
Yeah, exactly.
And if
so
that's
why it's so... That's where a trust comes into play here. I know that's hard. Trust is really hard, but you have to be able to trust that they know what they're doing. They've got their board and everything else. The last thing I would say, and then I want to hear from you, is the salary cap, the money situation. We're unaware of it right now. So to go out and say we're going to go spend $18 million on Tyler Linderbaum, who I love, okay, and we all want, can you do that? And at expense of what?
Right now,
okay?
no.
We don't know that.
Right now, no. You have to read.
Right, because we don't know what the salary cap is.
Exactly. You don't know what the structures are going to look like.
Exactly.
You bring up the word trust. Trust is given when you bring in starters.
Mm-hmm.
When you bring in bona fide starters, bona fide number ones on the defensive side, not these players where you hope a DJ Reed works out, where you hope an Emmanuel Mosley works out, and then by that same metric, or Cam Sutton, you hope a Cam Sutton work out. By the same metric, you're drafting players that are legit players. You're not trying to get the project. You're not trying to be the smartest man in the room. Because what happens is you're getting these starters that are already second-team guys, in my opinion, and then you're trying, which means you're not getting depth through the draft. You're not getting the guys that are depth, that are real number twos, that can come in when you get guys hurt. So when your number twos, which are starting for you, when they get hurt, the guys backing them up are 4-5s, as opposed to a starter. Now that he gets hurt, a number two is coming in. A legit number two. A legit number two is coming in, or a number three. If obviously your one goes down, you have
not
your
the
two,
practice
your
squad
three
guys. Yeah.
They legitimately have mid guys starting, and when those guys get injured or they get hurt, they're bringing in backups that are 5 or 4 on other teams.
Right.
That's
the issue. I get it.
So I can't trust until that part changes.
And because I'm
fully.
I'm
going
to back your point up.
Fair
because
enough.
in the beginning of the Brad Holmes era, he was consistently drafting starters in the late rounds. And that's not just starters because we were a bad team. There were all pros littered in those later rounds.
Yeah. Right.
Consistently.
Easier
now,
easier to do that when you have 6 first-rounders in 3 years.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the St. Browns.
I don't know if it's easy, but yeah, it's more likely.
I said easier.
Easier. Right. Fair enough. Easier. The thing about it is if you're drafting all those starters and then you've got first-round picks, you hope they're starters. Second-round picks, you hope they're starters. Third-round picks, you hope they're starters. But you've already got your other starters.
Yeah.
So those guys, they should be depth guys is what Braylon has said. So Enos Rakestraw comes to mind. Josh Pascal comes to mind.
Yeah.
Those guys, if they're not starters, they got to be contributors. If there's somebody, if Enos Rakestraw is not going to beat out DJ Reed, he's not going to beat out Terry Arnold. He's got to at least be able to contribute in somehow, some way, and he hasn't. So there are guys like that for sure, right? I get it. Yeah. I'm not saying he's been perfect. I don't think he's saying he's been perfect either. But he has drafted and has brought in players who we would. This goes back to the trust issue, where I think he's earned that trust. I think he's earned the trust with the names we all know. I don't have to go through all of them. And even a free agent like a Kevin Zeitler, okay, like a Carlton Davis. Well, Carlton Davis was a trade. I thought DJ Reed was going to work out. He didn't. No. There are certain guys he's brought in that makes you go, yeah, I get it. I don't know if that's enough for us to buy in this year. I think it's a huge year for him from the draft and free agent.
But that's why I use the point. That's why I use the word disappointment.
Yes,
disappointment because I know there is something there. Right. I know he can do his job. I know he has the ability to find talent, to search talent, to draft talent, to look at talent in the offseason and say, hey, I think this guy would be a good. I know that he has that ability. Yeah. I'm just saying I think where we're at now is just the last 2 years. It's just gone a little bit down from the 24 draft and the end of the 24 season, the 25 draft and the end of the 25 season. So that's where we're now at. There's trust in Brad Holmes for sure, but now you're looking at some of the things with a little bit of a microscope. I mean, maybe I missed this.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed this. Maybe this was here and I never paid attention to it. Maybe I should have asked this question. Maybe I should have said, oh, you know what? It's a little different when you're drafting. You had 2 first-round picks each draft, and you can do what you want and finagle that and play that.
Say.
Now it looks a little bit different when you don't have that, and you can say, oh, I'm going to package this first-rounder. I'm going to give that to you, and then you're going to give me 2 second-rounders. It's a little bit different now, and so I think that's where we're at with Brad Holmes. The trust is there. Like, he knocked it out of – like, 23 is one of the best drafts that I think I've ever seen an individual execute, especially as it relates to the trades in the first round, what he did in the first 3 rounds. And it's one of the best drafts I've seen ever executed. And then the turnaround that you got from those players in 23, those rookies, with Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, like what they did in that draft, Jack Campbell was figuring it out, if you will. Brian Branch, like that was an amazing master class. But that was 2 years ago.
I was going to say, at some point, we're going to have to move past
that. That's over.
Yeah.
Because the last 2 years, it hasn't been like that. I understand you don't have the first-round picks, but even the second-round picks haven't lived up to that potential. Tate Ratledge, for the most part of this year, was a liability, and he even said that.
So now it gets interesting because now we're talking about what we're going to do in the offseason. Like, well, we're going to be intentional in the draft. The last 2 years, you've struggled at that. Well, we're going to be intentional in free agency. Well, you've struggled in free agency, in my opinion, the whole time here.
Yep.
So when you tell us in very kind of, we're going to attack this, we're going to attack this, very nonchalantly, that's where I have a problem, or that's where I have a bit of an issue, because you're nonchalantly talking about something that you have not shown that you can do over the past 2 years. That's where it gets a little interesting.
I think it's really showing the value now of that Matthew Stafford trade. Look how much it underpinned, and I think foundationally set that his drafting acumen and resume up. Now, the last few drafts are the ones that people seem to have a lot more criticism over. Even though there are people who say things like Broderick Martin and such of the earlier ones, there was less to get at. With these last 2,
that's the rep, though, right, Kool-Aid? The rep is that he's a good drafter, but he doesn't bring in free agents and he doesn't make good trades. That's the rep. I'm not saying it's justified, because the free agent of Kevin Zeitler you would take.
I love Carlton Davis and Zeitler.
All right, but how much more can you do? To Justin's point, I'm not sure about I'm not sure about the offensive lineman. I just don't. I don't know how good Josh Cornley was for Washington. I have no idea. I have no idea how good Pete Skoronski was for Tennessee when he came out of Northwestern. Yeah. I can tell you they haven't won with him. Does that mean it's his fault? Not necessarily. That's the reason I am not going to reach and take a need if I've got a better player, especially if it's deep in a certain position where I might be able to get them in the second round. I thought Tate Ratledge was pretty good this year. I don't think he was a liability. He said he's no longer a rookie. He's got to be better. But he wasn't good enough. That's obvious. The offensive line in general
might have
wasn't
been
good
a little
enough.
aggressive.
Yeah. So I think all that stuff, I think they recognize. I think that's the most important thing we can all take away from this, you guys, is they recognize, and I know most people will be like, duh, no kidding, in the words of Bob Seger, shit, I've known that for 10 years. But yes, they know they're going to have to address this, and address it aggressively.
Where were you when he talked about the rush ins? Because obviously that question came up, talking about the edge rushers, and he said, well, our guys measure up against the best in the league. We had 13.5 on this side. We had 11 about an AQM. So, what do you think about that?
That was my second wincing moment.
I knew he was going to say
when he talked about that.
Yeah.
All right? So that is a guy who is defending how they've approached that hole in their game. I don't want to hear that, okay? I don't want to hear who else had, these guys with double-digit sacks. Man in the back, Houston, Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson Jr., Green Bay on their way to those two guys. Okay, you're going to do that with El-Qadim Mohammed? Okay. Is that what you're going to do? You're going to bring that back? He brought up Marcus Flippin Davenport. Why would you bring that up in a press conference when everybody knows
That's
damn
a trigger
well
word for everybody in the state.
It is. If you're at the folding warehouse, you're picturing every pin to be Marcus Davenport's face.
Yeah.
So that's a ridiculous thing to bring up. The answer is this. Yeah. We understand that we have underachieved opposite Aiden Hutchinson for the most part that he's been here. We need to get somebody who's going to be out there playing more snaps than 41% and get to the quarterback.
Yeah, I got a power stat for you.
He also brought up AQM, man. I'm like,
right.
He had 6 sacks against the Bengals, the freaking
Commanders.
No, he didn't have a sack against the Commanders. It was
Cleveland?
Bengals, the Giants, and it was another bad team, Pittsburgh. He had 6 sacks in those 3 teams with horrible offensive line. I don't care about that.
Yeah. You want more consistency? I
want the consistencies in the games that matter.
Correct.
That's what we want to see out of our players, and that's what we didn't see this year. Right. Yes, you have a lot of empty stats as it relates to this season, and the majority of those stats are against teams that are sitting right on the couch with you watching the playoffs.
Any guesses on where the Detroit Lions ranked in time to throw for quarterbacks?
Last.
No, this is probably a surprising stat, which means they probably had more time than we think.
Opposing quarterbacks had more time to throw against the Lions than any team in football.
It's 30 out of 32 after the last 2
weeks.
30,
okay. Yeah. 30 out of 32. So that's pretty close. Yeah.
You were very close.
Yeah.
So when you come to us and you say they had this pressure and that pressure and they did that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what you and I were talking about yesterday. As he's prepping for this, everybody in the room, everybody in the state, everybody in the league, everybody in the country who follows football would know one of the questions you're going to get, Brad, is what have we done to address that elephant in the room? And the elephant is the opposite rush end for Aiden Hutchinson. Okay? If you think Aiden Hutchinson is your guy, and obviously they do, what are you going to do about that? Just be ready for that question. The answer was not ideal.
Yeah, like legitimately, we've been talking about this position for the better part now since 2021, since the very first, 2022. We've been talking about this since 2022, since Aiden got drafted. It's been 4 years. There was James Houston, that didn't work.
Right.
There was Big Z, that didn't work. There was Marcus Davenport, that's still not working. Well, there's AQM. He had 11 sacks, but we're not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're not in the playoffs, so it's clearly an issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 years in, and
yeah, amen. We're going to shift gears here when we come back. We're going to talk a little bit about the embarrassment that perhaps the Tigers are facing today. We'll get to that on the other side of the Braylon Edwards Show after this from Les Stanford and Jack's Car Wash, which is still obviously busy here today with a lot of cars going through there. And, of course, it rained today because I went and got my car washed at Jack's Car Wash yesterday. Les Stanford has the car for you to get washed. Look at those beauties right there. That truck, that Silverado, and it's a brand new one, $189 a month plus tax. The XT6, just $359 a month plus tax. Yeah, that's dope. And the Enclave, a brand new Buick Enclave, a little different design now, under $300 plus tax at Les Stanford. I don't care if it's a Cadillac, a GMC, a Chevy, a Buick. They've got it for you. Les Stanford, LesStanford.com.
You heard what Shep said. Jack's Car Wash is the best car wash in the state. So when you get this car from Les Stanford or your beautiful vehicle that you have from wherever, you take it to there and you get it done up the right way. They'll get the wheels shining, man. They'll wash the rear wheels. They do it all, man. How about we get you a free car wash? Text WSN to 888-522-1729. Get you a free car wash, and while you're there, you're going to want to sign up for that unlimited plan. That unlimited plan gets you access to all 40-plus locations.
That works, by the way, Bray.
I told you.
I'm telling you, man. You text WSN to that number, you'll get something right away. Trust me.
1,000%. So, as Shep said, let that be you. Text that number, get that car wash.
Good people.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at LesStanford.com today.
Haircuts for men, and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for men. It's wicked awesome.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, you know, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com. You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports. game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
All sports fans, calling all sports fans, don't miss expert sports injury insights from Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Catch Dr. Pierce every Tuesdays on Big D Energy, as well as right here on the Braylon Network Show with Shep on Thursdays, where he shares top-tier advice about keeping athletes in peak condition. Trust the guy we trust, and it's Dr. Jeff Pierce. We need to put Dr. Pierce on the Detroit Lions staff. Maybe we'll have less players injured. Maybe we'll get him back a little bit faster.
I like that.
Here's how you help stay in the game and perform at
I like that.
Learn more from MichiganSportsAndSpine.com.
I like that. You know what I like? I like Buddy's Pizza.
Ooh.
Oh, is that all right?
That is no
they've been
secret.
doing it.
Dynamite drop in.
They've been doing it better than anybody else. The original Detroit-style pizza since 1946. They've got 20 locations throughout our great state. They are the cornerstone of this city for 79 years. Great community partners, and we are so honored that they are part of our Woodward Sports family as well. Save 10% off your entire order today. Use the promo code 10MEAL. That's 10 MEAL. And to find the nearest location, shouldn't be hard. You should probably already know where it is, but if you don't, go to buddiespizza.com.
Hey, we back.
Any super chats before we dive into a new topic here?
Oh, yeah, definitely. The people have been supporting. If you haven't gotten an opportunity to smash that like button, get your comments in, or get a super chat in.
And thanks for all the comments, by the way. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate you,
great.
man.
Yep.
We got a couple here from Just Lil Brian. $4.99 super chats. He sent in 2 of them and has the #1 crown in the chat, so salute you, man. He says, everything we do here is for comedic and symmetrical purposes. We do not promote gratification of the injury of others in any way. Don't sue us. And then he sends in another one. I think Mike McDaniels can find a way to split carries with our running backs, even find a way to get them on the field at the same time too.
Well, one of those running backs won't be here. Okay. Sure didn't sound like
Demo.
Yeah. Sure didn't sound like
it wasn't
David
a
Montgomery
solid
was gonna
vote
be
of
here.
confidence. It didn't. Yeah.
No. I really like David Montgomery.
Yeah.
I said this middle of the season, I think after we talked about the Minnesota game. I said this team's going to have to address a lot of different things and things that might make you a little bit more uncomfortable, like tackle, like linebacker, Alex Anzalone, and like running back. I said, I don't think David Montgomery is going to be back here next year. And I think, based on what Brad Holmes said, I don't see him being back here.
Yeah, if they're going to get rid of him, then they might want to look at Jeremiah Love in the third. Big thing with the Demo thing, I was
He's
arguing.
not making it to the third.
You said what?
He's not making it to the third.
He's a good player.
Yeah, that's true.
He's going to be a top 15 pick.
And you know what, Justin? That super chat was Spinny's warning. Can you do it much better justice than I? I just got it. It just clicked. Yeah, go ahead.
I've seen mock drafts where Kansas City is taking him in the first round.
That would be gross.
That'd be nice for them.
But everything on this network is done in a satirical and
There you
comedic
go.
purpose. On GTA, allegedly, nothing is real. We are not real human beings. Nothing is real on this channel. We are joking and take nothing seriously. Thank you.
Thank you. I needed the super chat to be done right, the justice, especially if they're going to send in the $4.89. They just clicked. And then Randall Small sends in one more $2
Promise
super
it don't
chat.
look like that.
He just checked into his motel. See you guys at Pickleball. That's from Randall Smalls.
All right, Rando.
Appreciate you, Randall.
Good to have you, buddy.
Always
All right.
good to talk to you.
You were talking about David Montgomery.
Yeah, it's the Demo situation, man. I was listening to Lions fans go at David Montgomery because of scrubbing his social, because it came out maybe he's leaving and going somewhere else. Same conversation we're talking about with Michigan. It's like, well, good riddance. Go ahead if you want to go. Grass is not green on the other side. why do you just all of a sudden like turn on players that gave their all for you? It ain't Dave Montgomery's fault. Y'all ain't know how to pick offensive linemen.
Yeah.
It's not Dave Montgomery's fault that Johnny Morton didn't know how to use the dual backfield that has actually worked for the Detroit Lions. Like, why would you want to be here? He's one of the best secondary running backs in the league. Like, he can start for a lot of teams in this league. His was the guy that gave the Lions a lot, and this year they tend to go away from him. And then Johnny Morton made it apparent they were going away from him. And then Dan Campbell tried to give him the ball a little bit to bring him back to the fold, but you knew the writing was on the wall because they want Jahmyr Gibbs to be number one. I just caution you with this. You better get a damn good number 2 back in here, because one of the reasons why Jahmyr Gibbs is so good is because having 2 backs, it keeps him fresh.
Exactly.
It allows him not to take as many hits, take as many carries throughout the game. You better know what you're doing, because Jahmyr Gibbs will not always run 4-3.
And I'll
27 less carries this year for David Montgomery in 3 more games than he played the previous year.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, his average yards per attempt were better.
Went up, yeah.
Went up. It's the
Yeah, that
second
one game
best
was
he's
6.
had. Second best he's had in his career. Look, I respect the hell out of every athlete that competes.
Yeah.
At the highest level, I don't care if you're the worst player on your team. You're probably still the best player I've ever seen. Okay, as far as going after it. David Montgomery, I really appreciate what he's brought to this team. He's going to leave us with some great memories. I would like to see him, and running backs don't last very long in this league, and he's been 7 years. I would like to see him go someplace where he gets a chance to be a bell cow again, like he was in Chicago when he was toting that rock 247 times a game or 247 times a year.
And he had a number 2, a sidekick that helped out with that. I can't think of the short dude's name or the shorter running back's name. He was Cohen.
Yes, Tariq Cohen.
Tariq Cohen was really good for a moment. But also the thing that you lose in Dave Montgomery. What did Jahmyr Gibbs struggle at this year?
Run blocking.
Pass pro.
Or pass blocking. That's
I would just tell you this. There was a time when Jahmyr Gibbs was going off at times, and everyone's like, you can't take him off the field, everybody. That's what they were telling us.
Yeah.
Don't take him off the field. How stupid would that be?
Yeah.
Suddenly,
say
he's
he's a
getting
home run hitter
stymied,
every
and everyone's
play.
like, I want David Montgomery.
People don't know what they don't know.
All right, let me shift gears.
One more thing on the Monty thing.
Yes.
Outside of the pass pro, though, in my humble opinion, I do feel like you can easily replace the running style that David Montgomery has with a 5th to 7th round pick in the draft. The running back position is a plethora. And unless you are Jeremiah Love, you are not getting taken in the first round. So I think the one that comes to mind, D'Ernest Johnson from Nebraska. He's an absolute dog. He's a power running back. I think that that's a guy who you can have in a rookie contract because, unfortunately, Dave Montgomery is a luxury you cannot afford at the moment. You decided that your luxury was going to be on Isaac Tesla, and that's your luxury weapon that you get outside of your main guys. Yeah. And that's because he's on a rookie deal.
Yeah, I would remind you, Detroit used a 4th-round pick on a running back a couple of years ago.
Yes, he did.
And Sione Vaki. Now, I know he's not the same style running back, but when we talk about, and that might have been a
project.
Project. Might not have been as deep a draft as this year's running back, so I'll trust you on that. But I'm not in the habit of saying, you know what, Dave Montgomery, see you later. We'll just get our running back in the 5th or 6th round of this year's draft. It's not that easy, A, and B, you can't be that impactful like David Montgomery was impactful with this team.
What's the old school saying? 1 in the hand is worth more than 2 in the bush.
All right, let me shift gears here to the Tigers situation because arbitration comes out, right? And in case people are wondering, just a quick thought on arbitration. You are up for arbitration eligible. You go before a judge. It's Judge Justin. And and the team says Braylon is worth $10 million. And Braylon's representative by Kool-Aid says he's worth 20. Then the judge has to decide, okay? So Casey Mize is going to make $6 million this year. They came to an agreement. Riley Green's going to make $5 million. All these guys are arbitration eligible. Zach McKinstry is going to make 4. Torkelson's going to make 4. Will Vest is going to make 4. Kerry Carpenter, on and on and on. The problem comes when Tarek Skubal is in front of the judge. The Tigers go to them and say, he's worth $19 million. Scott Boras and Tarek Skubal start laughing so hard that they might be peeing their pants, and they say, $19 million? Really? We're putting in 32. Now what has to happen? The judge has to decide, is he closer to the medium which is 25.5. And if he is, then Skubal gets the $32 million.
Yeah.
If he's not closer to 25.5, the Tigers win, he gets $19 million. They have time in between to negotiate a deal if they want. There's only one thing Scott Boras has to do. Hi, Your Honor. How are you? Good to see you. This team paid Jack Flaherty, who led the league last year in losses, had an ERA of over 5.5 and a WHIP of 1.3, $25 million. This team just paid Gleyber Torres $22 million. This team paid Javier Baez $25 million. My client is the best pitcher on earth. If not on earth, he's the best left-hander there is. He's won back-to-back Cy Youngs. That hasn't been done in a long time. He's worth more than $19 million. He deserves the 32. Thank you. Have a great day.
You forgot one. Alex Cobb, $15 million, and not even touch the bump.
Didn't even play. Might have played cards before a game. May have hooped it up a little bit
Maybe
in the
went
Tigers
post-game
clubhouse.
showers with the boys.
Could have been.
Morale, who
Yeah,
knows?
not bad, right? Hey, listen, I'm good for 3 in the mini net. That's fine.
Hey, Shep got look like you got a shot.
I
man.
follow through.
Yeah, I like
Absolutely. So, this should be a slam dunk win for Tarek Skubal.
Yeah, there's no
And
chance.
on top of that, if you look at the high, go to some of the best pitchers in baseball and how much they made this year. Jacob deGrom making $40 million. Blake Snell making over $30 million. Absolutely, Tarek Skubal is winning this. And on top of that, the Tigers lose in the public perception. The public perception is what?
You're
about
not
the Tigers?
serious about paying Tarek Skubal.
They're not going to spend.
They're not going to spend money, and they're not serious about retaining Tarek Skubal. And this probably gives people more ammunition for that.
The thing that sucks about arbitration is that you legitimately have to be across from your player and tell him that he's not worth this. Like, that's what sucks about the arbitration. Now a player knows exactly how you feel about him, which you probably already do. But to tell your generational ace that's won back-to-back Cy Youngs that we feel that we're going to look more on the line of what the value of arbitration is versus what the actual value of you, our ace, our guy, our player, our homegrown player, that sucks because it's fractured forever. So I don't care what happens. This situation with Skubal is done. Like it always was, but the Tarek Skubal situation is you're just waiting for the trade. And now the problem with the trade, you can't get as much because they know the disrespect of what's going on now.
Well, they do say, there are reports that, people have tapped into the Tigers and inquired about Skubal and basically everyone.
The ones that don't have that money for the long time.
Yeah. They want your entire team.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised, maybe I'm not. I'm surprised that the Tigers didn't look at this and think a little bit ahead.
This feels like a hostage situation. A hostage negotiation.
Shouldn't you be looking at before you start an argument? Shouldn't you look at the opponent's side of the argument? That's what good debate teams do. Okay,
that's what good attorneys do.
Yeah,
where are they going to come from?
Where are they going to come from? So if I'm the Tigers, am I not thinking, okay, what might they say? Flaherty's obvious. Right? $25 million for a guy like that. The Cobb thing is interesting. It's $15 million. It's a good example, too. How about just going to the guys in baseball right now? And I say to you, who's better? Carlos Rodon?
Skeens?
Or Tarek Skubal?
Tarek Skubal.
How about Corbin Burns, who I like a lot? Hasn't pitched for Arizona at all. Made $31 million. I'm rounding up. It's 30.7, but still. $31 million. I could give you example. They would be there all day if I were Tarek Skubal's representative. How much time you got, Your Honor? Because I got a laundry list of everybody I could tell you why my client deserves the higher number instead of the lower number. And I would love to know what the Tigers' example would be on why he deserves 19 instead of the 32.
And I get Braylon's thing as talking about how tough it's got to be to sit there and hear your team say that you're worth less than you think you're putting in. But to hear it be that wide of a distance for one of the game's best. Not like, this is one of the guys we like. This is one of our Detroit guys that our Detroit people can appreciate and see what his value is. This is one of the best players in all of baseball whom other teams would gladly go and say, you know what? And I get it. They operate with those big payrolls. But we know what they would do to secure the talents of a guy like Tarek Skubal. And those organizations have shown that they're serious about trying to win a World Series.
Dude, how many pitches were in the MVP race last year?
Maybe Max Fried with Skubal in the American League.
How many were in the year before that?
I don't recall. But Skubal is.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The list goes on. You're talking about not just the best pitcher in the league. You're talking about potentially best player in the league. He's not. But you're talking about in that category, kind of sort of. That's what the MVP is. Like, that's the conversation that we're having.
If you're the player and you're sitting there and the Tigers are saying 19, the Tigers are telling you, we're going to pay you less than Jordan Montgomery. Yeah. And Jordan Montgomery for Arizona last year
that's such a crazy
was 8-7 with a 6.23 ERA and a WHIP of 1.65. Let that register for just a moment.
I wouldn't come to camp.
And he made almost $23 million, and the Tigers are saying, you know what, Tarek? Forget about the Triple Crown from a year ago. Forget about the strikeout leader this year. Forget about the fact that you spend more time on the mound than anybody in our organization. Forget that you're the run stopper, the team that we're going to stop the losing streak. We're going to give you less than Jordan flippin' Montgomery. And by the way, he's 31 and Skubal's 28, 29.
We're going to give you less than Robbie Ray.
It just
We're going to give you less than...
It seems like they don't understand the value of making it about us versus making it about us versus you.
Yeah.
Like, if you go and like, look, this is us. It's our team. We want him on our team. We want him to have success. We want to have success. Let's look at it from how can we make him happy, but at the same time, give ourselves some room. You know what I'm saying? Not spend as much money. Versus how can we make it as cheap as possible for us, and the hell with this guy. That's what it seems like the Detroit Tigers have done. F you, it's about what we can make happen. It's not about you versus him. It's about the collective.
What should they have gone to the arbitrator with?
I was about to ask you guys that, too,
24?
because Ryan's...
Yeah, I was going to say $25 million.
25.
There it is, 25. 25.
That would have been at least that would have been a fair offer. That's the minimum.
Yeah.
Because, again, people, here's what we're going to do. We're always going to bring up Jack Flaherty.
Yeah.
Okay, when he's in your
Who's
clubhouse.
on your team. You brought him back and paid him.
Yeah, my God, man. You're charting pitches for this dude. How do you not recognize that? It's a bad look, a really bad look, and I think it gives fans even that much more ammunition when they debate on whether or not they think he's going to be back, number one, or number two, if the Tigers are serious about building a championship contender. It makes the franchise look really, really bad. It makes the ownership look really, really bad.
It just seems like you have a side, you have a wall with the Detroit Tigers. It is the front office and administration versus the players and agent and the coach, and the coaching staff. It doesn't seem like there's any collective. It's the BS that came out last year in the news about what that has nothing to do with the players.
Yeah.
That's not the players.
Right.
That's not the coaching. And this same thing right here, this is not the players. This isn't the coaching. This is the administration. You can't win like that. Because at the end of the day, your skipper, who's one of the best in the game, your skipper who's gotten you here, he's looking at this. You don't think he's like,
what are we doing?
Because what am I doing?
No, seriously.
What am I doing? Like, why am I here in Detroit as I'm rocking the Old English D? Like, what am I doing here? That's what you're in danger of.
Shep, you opened a dangerous can of worms because I looked at this list of the money that some of these pitchers are making in that $19 million range. And if I'm Terry Skubal, I'm giving the double birds to ownership.
You're pissed.
Because you're trying to tell me that I'm as good as Erod, Eduardo Rodriguez?
Right.
A guy who has a career over 3 ERA? Like what are we even talking about here? Like the guys who are in that range haven't even sniffed a Cy Young or are past the point of competing for a Cy Young. It is utterly ridiculous that this is the state of this franchise, especially when our owner is a top 5 richest owner in the sport.
You offered him less than Nick Martinez makes. Okay? I mean, these are the things. And when he went on the tour, remember you and I talked about this? We talked about Tarek Skubal going to different places, the Pistons game and all that other stuff. People thought, well, was it
himself?
Yeah, was it choreographed? Guess what?
Yeah.
Whether it was choreographed or not, people warmed to that. This is an indication he wants to be here. Now, with this type of news coming out, it makes people think they're even further on the side of Tarek Skubal. I'm sorry. Yeah. Public relations matters in life.
Scott Boras is a master of his craft.
He's a master of his craft.
He may be he's not stupid. Wrong choice of words, and I don't call people stupid. He may be interesting. He may be a little goofy.
He's unique.
That's the word I was looking for. He may be very unique. One thing he's not a fool.
No.
Like every move has been calculated, and we've gotten here, and guess who looks great and guess who doesn't?
Amen. Speaking of masters, not Masters of Puppets, which is a really good song by Metallica, but how about a master behind the grill, Black Rock?
Nothing like Black Rock, man.
Well, just real quick.
Okay.
I did want to ask you just real quick about that $32 million.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a hometown discount, as Ryan's reaction is saying? Because that would put him in the top 5, but at the bottom end of the highest paid pitchers in the league, that would include Shohei Ohtani. So maybe the top 4 just pure pitchers.
What do you mean hometown discount?
He's saying it's a $32 million.
That's what his agent went to the arbitrator with.
Yeah, but
the agent went to the arbitrator and said, "We think he's worth $32 million."
I'm saying that would you consider that even a hometown discount where it puts him like 5th?
Well, you could have said
of your top 5.
He could have said 40.
He could have said 40, and then
that's what I mean.
You got to settle either way.
But then you got to go from 19 and 40 and find that middle. You're about winning this year in arbitration. Yeah. He's bound to win this year, so I think it's a fair number. The hometown discount is right out the window because next year, Braylon has said it numerous times. He's going to make at least $40 million, and he's not going to be making it here. He's not making it here.
Sounds
ready
like
to learn pinstripes, Terry Scooble.
Sound like he's had his last Black Rock Bar and Grill meal, man. Black Rock Bar and Grill is still here. Looking for dinner pans and sizzle? Look no further. 20% off your dinner bill if you just mention Woodward Sports. That's all they're asking you to do. They launched a whole new menu, but they return a lot of favors, man. They still have that newest way to sizzle. Prime sirloin still here. Top Rock experience. And all you can eat platters are still here for $20, man. Look, Black Rock Bar and Grill all around the state. Amazing experience. And also, too, great service. It's about service. Black Rock Bar and
You are so right about that. And their customer service usually stinks these days. The people we are friends with, part of our Woodward Sports family, are great at customer service. Nobody's better than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. These ladies know what they're doing. They'll get you in the chair and out on your way because they know you're busy. Check it out today. There's a lot of locations, 28 throughout the state of Michigan. Yeah. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Let's tell the people about Caesars as well, and then we'll come right back to the desk. We have a few super chats after Caesars.
Yes, sir. Let me tell you about Caesars Sportsbook, the OG in the betting game. Make sure you use them tonight for the college football playoff game, Indiana versus Oregon. You can use code Woodward1000 to get a $1,000 bonus bet if your bet loses. So make sure you hit up Caesars Sportsbook today in your app store or online.
We're back. You know what? We got these super chats to address before the end of the show. LaBartney with a $10 super chat says, "Dang, I was trying to engineer my Christmas break so I could attend the pickleball event. Hope everyone has a good time. And where can I bet on the WSN teams?"
You already know it's only one team to bet on, man. You looking at him.
Bet on Braylon.
You're looking at this.
Bet on Braylon. I'll be a hindrance, but bet on Braylon.
Hey, Passenger 57, Wesley Snipes, one of the most iconic lines. Always bet on black, baby.
Amen. Black don't crack. I do not want. I just don't want to pull anything tonight. Okay, I'm good.
Hey, if you
the
do,
words of Brad
Doc
Holmes,
Pierce gotcha.
You brought. I know you got super chats going on. We'll get to all. I promise. Just a quick thought on the game.
Yes,
next
sir.
up. Indiana, Oregon.
I got Indiana.
You got Indiana.
I got Indiana. Yep.
Do they have to win tonight for this to be this experience, this thing, this momentum, for it to work, for it to be called whatever?
Nope. I think they've arrived.
They will be better next year than they are this year.
Based on
transfer portal.
Okay. Kool-Aid.
Love that Aiden Fisher.
Kool-Aid.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have Oregon in the game though, plus 3.5.
Who do you have?
I think Oregon's gonna win, but I think,
straight up.
Yeah, straight up, no points. I think Oregon's going to win tonight. I think Indiana has to win, though, to keep the momentum and to really keep. Yeah, they got the Heisman Trophy winner. Yes, the transfer portal is open. The majority of their roster is grown-ass men, 24, 25. Yep. You got it in the hodgepodge in the pocket. This is 2026. It's no longer, we're going to build it out over 3-4 years. It's about now. Yep. If you don't win tonight, you were in the playoffs last year. You made it to the Final Four last year.
Mm-hmm. No, they lost in the first round.
First round, excuse me. But you made it last year. You started.
Playoffs,
you started last year. This is this year. You got the quarterback. Everything is going for you. If you don't win this year, then what are we doing? Because 12 playoff teams, who's to say you can get back that easily.
I think they can. I think they built it for stability, and now college football is that's the way we do it.
Those COVID 25, 26, 20-year-old players, like, it's starting to come to an end.
You're right.
And we're getting back to the point where the oldest age will be 22. We'll be 23 at the oldest. So that's what I'm saying. He's got a roster full of 25, 24-year-olds. He's got to win.
We're going to be watching it together a little bit. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick, because we're at the top of the hour, and the heavyweights are coming up at 5:30, live from Wicked Pickle. 5:30.
Yes, sir. And
I hope there's pizza left for us.
Hey, we hope so. Hey, Randall Smalls, let us know, because I know Randall will be down there with the $5 super chat. Says, for what they spend on Schoolboy, they can sign Clark and McGonigal to 2 position players to long-term deals.
Well, I wouldn't sign them to long-term deals yet.
I don't even know what they look like.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that yet. I mean, it's not Ronald Acuna and Ozzie Albies yet. It's not those guys. So
even
I
when
would
they
be
signed
careful.
Acuna, he was already in the MLB.
Correct. That's why I say that. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Not yet. No need to do that. There's no need to do that.
Yeah. And Curtis Schultz, $20 super chat.
There it is.
I don't even know what he was responding to, but he says, so, you're saying I got a bigger member than Holmes? How about that hot, crazy Matrix? I don't know what he's responding to.
I'm not sure either, but it's a good way to leave the show.
Yeah.
And a good way to leave the week. Join us at Wicked Pickle tonight if you can. Justin, thanks as always. Kool-Aid, you're the man. Braylon, you're the best.
Hey, y'all crushed.
And so are you in the chat. We'll see you on Monday at 2 o'clock.
Looking for your daily sports fix? Look no further. Join Braylon Edwards, the University of Michigan legend.
Lofting it right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
And Shep.
Do you believe this comeback?
Your favorite sports commentator as they tackle the hottest topics in the world of sports. Catch the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. Get ready to laugh, learn, and love sports like never before.